Alright, hello everybody, this is T-Bone Blacktop, and I'm here with my buddy Smiley Asphalt at the Sweet 16 Classic. So what'd you think of that Cattle Fest there, Smiley?
Huh? Did you say something, T-Bone? I was down at the Cattle Fest with Rhonda Roadway.
I asked how'd you like the Cattle Fest? Oh, never mind. Here's our lineup for Heat 2. We have 4 races, and like the first heat, the best 2 out of 3 moves on to the semifinals. First up is Joe Scribe and his T-Bird, going against Cheryl Creeper in that fast custom Cougar.
Hey, she really dominated the first heat we had. One fan predicted her to win the whole race.
Bubba said that Cheryl Creeper looked the quickest and most stable to him. Hey, then we'll watch young gun Tyler Phillips and his Python go after tough as diamonds jewelry salesman James Hacksaw in the Firebird 400 convertible.
The fun don't end there. Debbie Driver, yoga instructor, here on a dare in her Camaro, is going after another young gun, Kyle Grinder, in his blown Hemi VW.
And to round off Heat 2, we have Maynard G. Crimps and the phantasmical Beatnik Bandit going against Socket in the Ford J-Car.
T-Bone, I learned a bit about Socket. Rumor has it he is a Forza competitor from the Midwest and really shown some moves.
Forza, isn't that a video game?
It is. Well, he sure knows how to drive.
Let's get started with the racing. Alright, we're going to start off with Scribe versus Creeper. They're on the mark. Neck and neck down the front straight, and Scribe gets the jump on Creeper out of turn 1.
Creeper is doing all she can to catch up in turn 3 and just can't make it.
Wow, what a race. The heat is on as Creeper gets the lead in the front straight. Going around turn 1 and Scribe is catching up.
Whoa, Scribe gets a bit swirly on the jump and lands on his roof, sliding into turn 2.
Creeper narrowly escapes and spins around backwards in the middle of turn 2 and finishes the race in reverse. How's it look in the chopper, Jimmy Highway?
Well, the encyclopedia salesman doesn't need to Google how to come out of a wreck safely. He appears to be fine, and they are loading the car up to the start line for the 3rd race.
Do these guys know they're racing just for bragging rights?
We need to sell some more Blacktop magazines if we want to get some cheddar for them to win. Hey, help these guys out and pick up a magazine or get some Blacktop trading cards with your car on them.
Are you done with the shameful self-promotion, Smiley?
Yeah, let's get back to the race.
It's anybody's game as Scribe won the first race and Creeper the second. What a race there, door handle to door handle all the way around turn 2. Creeper gets that cat to sprint and pulls ahead in the middle straight. Ouch, maybe a bit too much as she spins out at the top of turn 3 and does a nosedive in the bottom corner. Scribe comes around and nudges her in the tailspin and over the edge.
Dang, they say cats land on their feet, and that's true with this Cougar too.
I don't think we have ever seen anything like this at Workbench Raceway Park. The track crew is up on the turn inspecting everything. It looks like the K-Rail was a bit out of whack, so they smacked it with a big hammer, and now they're ready for some more racing.
I gotta see this one more time as they bring Cheryl's Cougar up to the pits.
That means Joe Scribe and his custom T-Bird is moving on to the semi-final.
Well, here's Hacksaw and Phillips.
You know this is going to be a good race.
Young Tyler Phillips beat out the fan favorite Bo Ratchet in the first heat, and now going after someone who definitely proved he's not just bling, James Hacksaw, the Seal Beach, California jewelry store owner, in his convertible. Hacksaw has a huge lead on Phillips all the way down the track. Phillips can't catch up.
That big blown engine just added too much weight in the nose and just dogging it.
Hacksaw wins that race. Hacksaw gets a small lead down the front straight.
Phillips is catching up. What a great race. Hacksaw pulls away in the middle straight and spins around at the end to watch Phillips cross the line.
So James Hacksaw will be going to the semifinals. Apprentice Kyle Grinder in his blown Hemi VW is going against yoga instructor Debbie Driver in her Camaro. She pulled away from John Hammer in his 68 Mustang in the first heat. Will she pull some yoga moves on Grinder here? And they're off, neck and neck down the front straight, and Grinder pulls away out of turn 1, slipping it sideways and recovers.
Driver spins it around in turn 3 as Grinder heads for the win. I'll tell you, that little bug is fast.
Looks like Creeper is going to take this one the front straight.
But Kyle shot some sparks and took off around turn 2.
Driver kept it straight for the first time in turn 3, but it didn't help.
Grinder must think he's on his skateboard and pulls a 540 across the finish line.
She's out and Grinder goes on to the semifinal against Scribe in the T-Bird. Now we're up to the last race here in the second heat.
Crimps versus Socket.
This Socket character sure has a fast car.
We might have to get Rhonda down in his pits and find out what's under the hood back there.
Socket gets the jump on Crimps around turn 1, and Crimps spins out just before turn 2. Socket is playing pinball down the middle straight and rolls backward across the finish.
Whoa, Crimps wipes out in turn 3.
Let's see what happened. Apparently he put the juice down in the back straight and got squirrely going high into turn 3 and was tossed around like a salad, landing on his dome in the turn.
Wow, that must have been a shaker.
What's going on, Jimmy Highway?
There's a reason they put the safety crew in turn 3, that's for sure. The crew is Johnny on the spot. Let's look at this in the turn 3 camera in slow-mo.
Yeah, he got sideways going into the turn and must have hit something and sent him flying. That's gotta hurt.
There's something to be said about these racers. Pandemic or not, they are super tough. Nothing's gonna get them down.
The medic has cleared Maynard and he is okay to race again. Hopefully this didn't shake him up too much and he can take this Socket character. Up in the gates for race 2.
Socket just took it from the get-go. You can certainly tell that Crimps is still a bit shaken. You know you gotta get back on that horse, but it doesn't always mean you're gonna ride like the wind. Best of luck to Crimps and congratulations Socket, who's moving on to race Hacksaw in that Firebird for the semifinals.
Alright, before we move on to the semifinals, let's take a trip down to the car show with Rhonda, or outside of turn 2.
I heard she's got a pretty sweet little Mercedes 280 SL that she's cruising around in.
Hi boys, yeah. I found this little ditty at the Blacktop magazine First Friday's historic Main Street car show in Garden Grove. What do you think?
Looks great. The blue looks good on you.
We have a great showing down here. A great mix of classics, modern cars and sport cars. Looks like the Snake and Mongoose rigs from the Cacklefest came down for the car show. Let's stop and take a look around. The Mongoose rig is a really nice restoration. And over to the left is the Club Kit cars. The King Kuda, Heavy Chevy and the Boss Haas. It was the first time Mattel offered a Hot Wheels club and there were 3 male and only chrome cars. They all came with black stripes and either black or white interiors. Which is your favorite, Smiley?
Me, what? I didn't know we were going to have a pop quiz.
That Cacklefest still have your ears ringing?
Ira Guilford designed the first Club Kit car, the Heavy Chevy, in 1970.
This event is celebrating lots of different cars here. Notice the vans in the back row over there. There's a reason they are in the back. Then you have some more original redline cars like the Split and Image, also designed by Ira Guilford. One of my favorite cars, Bone, is this blue 69 Torero. He has the hood up to show off that 425 Hemi. Did you know it was designed after the Dodge Charger Mark II concept car? You'd know if you read about it in Blacktop magazine. Special print edition number 23 has a feature where they test drive it up Ortega Highway. Here's our track heroes, those who will risk their life to come save you in case of an accident. They made hasty work of the event and as you see everyone escaped major injury. Thank you for your service to our track. Well, Smiley and T-Bone, that's it from the car show. I believe you still have some racing to cover.
What did you think of the car show, T-Bone?
Smiley, you know I dig me some shiny chrome and bright paint. And that racing. Wow, those racers are sure going after the gold.
That is for sure.
Now we have the semifinals. 2 more races set to see who goes to the big trophy and prize winnings.
Prize winnings? You mean we're getting paid for this?
Well, it's a figure of speech.
Maybe if some of you in the audience would like to help these racers out, we have Blacktop magazine, Blacktop trading cards, and now some shirts too for you to pick up. Every dollar spent during this series goes directly to the racer. So head on over to blacktopmagazine.com and get you some of that cool merch.
All right, here we are in the semifinals and Joe Scribe versus Kyle Grinder. Joe has had a bit of trouble here at the Sweet 16 Classic, but nothing he can't get out of. Now he's going to use all he can to go after that sleeper of a bug.
Grinder has really shown how a young gun can stick it down the track.
That no-fear attitude really pays off. Scribe gets a jump on Grinder as they head down the front straight and around turn 1.
Grinder likes taking some big air on the jumps, that's for sure.
Whoa, Scribe gets a bit too squirrely in turn 2 and flips over on his roof.
He seems to like it upside down.
He slides all the way down and around turn 3 as Grinder slips by, looking back as he passes the finish line.
How does it look from up there, Jimmy?
Well, not a lot of movement down here in turn 3 as the emergency crews are checking things out. That was a good slide, and Scribe will have to be made of hardened steel to get out of this one.
Let's take another look and see if we can tell what happened.
He does a nosedive into turn 2 and at the apex appears to flip it on its roof, and he slides all the way down the middle straight and around turn 3.
Looks like the emergency crew gave it all an A-OK and bringing the car back up to the starting line.
Well, that was one heck of a wreck. Hope he had time to clear the bugs on his head. Again, Scribe gets the lead on Grinder going into turn 1, but Grinder pours on the gas.
Whoa, that's a major error. Grinder flies high and nosedives right in front of Scribe.
Scribe has nowhere to go and swerves over the edge and down the canyon to the abyss.
Grinder spins around in the turn to see if he can see what happened to Scribe.
The race falls quiet as Grinder slips across the finish line.
Let's see that again.
Yep, looks like Grinder hits the gas in turn 1 and launched airborne at the jump. That heavy Hemi up front made him nosedive right into Scribe's lane.
Hard to tell from this angle, but it looks as though he may have hit the front bumper of Scribe's T-Bird and flipped the rear over the edge.
Racing is a tough sport. We sure hate losing someone.
Sad to see you go, Scribe. May you race in peace.
Let's take a moment to offer our prayers and condolences.
Looks like the young gun Kyle Grinder is off to the finals.
We heard that Neil Welder is in his pits to offer some assistance. Now we're up to the second race in the semifinal.
James Hacksaw versus Socket.
Both of these racers have been strong throughout. This is going to be a great race for sure.
Hacksaw has proven he has a tough diamond blade, and Socket, well, he's Socket.
Some say he's an alien, others say the car is autonomous. All we know is that he is wicked fast down the track. And they're off. Hacksaw gets the lead in the front straight as Socket takes him around turn 1 and takes the J car all the way down the track.
Hacksaw tries to distract him with a 360 out of turn 3, but Socket will have none of those shenanigans.
I gotta see that move again, Smiley. Socket does a 180 at the front of turn 3 and Hacksaw does his 360 right in front of him.
Man, we need some dash cameras on these cars.
Neck and neck down the front straight, and Socket gives it a bit too much around turn 1. From that inside lane, he leaps off the jump at an angle and rolls right on his roof and comes to a stop in turn 2.
And you're pretty busy in the copter today, huh, Jimmy?
These racers really are going for it. That was a spectacular jump, and the emergency crew was there in an instant. You gotta give it to these first responders. It's as if there was a higher power bringing their vehicles up to the different crash scenes.
Let's see it again. Oh yeah, he launched into outer space with that run.
With a quick move, Hacksaw turns to the right, just missing the rolled over Ford, and heads down for the win. From the turn 1 camera, we see how he got just a bit wonky on the takeoff.
Looks like everything has checked out and he is going up to the start for an all or nothing race 3.
Hacksaw takes the lead down the front straight and all the way around turn 2. But is he getting too cocky and taunting Socket? Sure enough, Hacksaw loses speed in turn 3, and Socket passes him on the inside and takes him by 4 car lengths.
Let that be a lesson to you kids out there. Don't celebrate until after you win.
So for the final, we have Kyle the Apprentice Grinder versus Socket. But first, let's hear from our friend Zoe Scarlett.
Hello, my name is Zoe Scarlett, and please make sure to subscribe to Blacktop TV here on YouTube.
Alright, Smiley, here we are for the final round.
Who would think a young driver of a blown Hemi VW Beetle would be in the final against a pro race car, the Ford J car, with a robot of sorts driving it?
We had Rhonda visit with the racers in their pits and found Welder giving the kids some tips. But over at the Socket pits, it was just the car sitting there. Socket was in the cockpit, but just sitting there during the break. Down the front straight, and Socket nudges ahead of Grinder at turn 2.
They both spin it in turn 2, but Socket regains control as Grinder hits turn 3 sideways and flips around like a Mexican jumping bean in turn 3 and stops on his side.
I don't think you can say that. Someone might find it objectionable.
Let's see it again in slow-mo.
Nope, you're right. The car flipped around like a Mexican jumping bean.
Jimmy, how's the view up there?
The crew is all there to help Grinder. I wonder if he was thinking about what happened to Scribe. We have seen worse, that's for sure, but in that little bug, I'm sure he got tossed around quite a bit.
Let's see it one more time from our turn 3 camera. Well, it's just a blur, even in slow-mo. The track officials have inspected the track and it's good to go. They're checking Socket's car to make sure he isn't losing oil on the track too.
Looks like everything checked out okay and ready to race.
Another race down the front straight, and this time Grinder pulls ahead and literally gets the jump on Socket. This time shaking him up in turn 2, and Grinder pulls away down the middle straight. Socket catches up in turn 3 and tries to make a last-minute pass with a failed pit maneuver across the finish line.
Let's roll back the finish line camera and take another look.
Wow, that's some move, just desperate trying to get to the finish line. Well, here we are in race 3, the final race. This is it, do or die. These two are really going at it. You can't ask for better racing, that's for sure. Grinder has the lead and does a 180 as if to give the salute to Socket in the middle straight, nose to nose, but he gets too high in turn 3 and Socket takes him on the inside and goes to the finish line in 3 lanes.
You'd think these guys would learn not to show off.
Congratulations, Socket, on the win at the Sweet 16 Classic.
We really appreciate all you watching, and please stay tuned for some more great fuel-fed fun here on Blacktop TV.
And be sure to subscribe to Blacktop TV here on YouTube and hit the bell for instant notifications.
Also, you can subscribe to our monthly e-newsletter by clicking the Sign Up tab on the Blacktop Magazine Facebook page, or go to our website at blacktopmagazine.com.
Alright, thank you to our emergency crew. They were certainly busy.
Big shout outs to Jimmy Highway and the Blacktop Chopper, and Rhonda Roadway on the event grounds.
We all want to wish the friends and family of Joe Scribe our best condolences. I'm T-Bone Blacktop.
And I'm Smiley Asphalt, wishing you all a safe and healthy 2020.